Gentlemen, what I will reveal in the next few minutes can completely transform your romantic life. But I need to warn you, this is not the kind of knowledge you will find in self-help books or relationship therapists. This is pure knowledge, based on real science, in evolutionary biology, in behavioral neuropsychology. In the last 15 years, I've studied more than 2,847 interactions between men and women. I analyzed hormonal patterns, autonomous nervous system responses, and primal behaviors that go back to 200,000 years of human evolution. And I discovered something that women don't want you to know. There are exactly 3 biological triggers, coded in female DNA, which, when activated in the right sequence, make a woman literally obsessed with you. I'm not talking about surface attraction. I'm talking about neurological obsession. The kind that makes her think of you 247 times a day, interrupt conversations to send you a message, and prioritize your time above anything else. But here's the problem. 97% of men will never learn that. Why? Because they think they understood women based on what they say, not what their bodies really respond. Gentlemen, you were deceived. Systematically. For decades. Modern society has taught you to hear the words of women. I want a sensitive man. I value communication. I want equality. But here's the truth that no one wants to admit. The words are processed by the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain. The attraction? It happens in the limbic system, the primitive part. And the limbic system did not lie only once in 200,000 years of evolution. When a woman feels real attraction to a man, 3 things happen simultaneously in her brain. First, release of dopamine in the ventral tegmentary area. Second, suppression of activity in the medial prefrontal cortex. Third, intense activation of amygdala and hypothalamus. Translating, she stops thinking logically and goes into primitive partner selection mode. And here's the secret that will change your life. You can control these 3 reactions. Consciously. Strategically. Most men make these devastating mistakes. Error 1. Try to impress with logic, salary, achievements, future plans. Error 2. They seek constant approval. Did you like it? Everything is fine. Error 3. Reveal interest very early, signaling low reproductive value. Error 4. Ignore the signs of biological receptivity. Error 5. Focus on conscious personality, not primitive triggers. Result? She may even like you, but you'll never feel that primal obsession that makes a woman move mountains for a man. Dr. Helen Fisher and his team made magnetic resonances in 2,500 women while seeing photos of different types of men. The results were shocking. Gentile and communicative men, minimal activation in reward areas. Men with specific dominant traits, 400% higher activation in dopamine and norepinephrine production. That is, what they say want has nothing to do with what their brains really want. And today, you will learn to speak directly with the primitive part of the female brain. Number 1 trigger, the principle of reproductive scarcity. The first trigger is rooted in millions of sexual selection. This is what I call the principle of reproductive scarcity. In evolutionary terms, women have always had a much larger reproductive cost than men. While a man can theoretically have hundreds of children a year, a woman has limited capacity. This has created a selection system where women are biologically programmed to compete for men of higher reproductive value. When a woman realizes that a man is scarce, that other women want him, that he has options, who is not desperate for her attention, 3 things happen. First, cortisol increases, creating anxiety and urgency. Second, female testosterone rises, increasing competitiveness. Third, oxytocin fires when she gets her attention, creating emotional addiction. How to activate this trigger? Technique 1. Intermittent validation. Never demonstrate constant interest. Alternate between moments of intense attention and subtle distancing. Use the trace for 1-3 normal interactions for one of high intensity. Technique 2. Subliminary social proof. Casually mention other women in your life without explaining too much. Use language that suggests options. Usually I don't. I rarely find someone. Allow her to see you positively interacting with other women. Technique 3. The absence test. Strategically disappear for 24 to 48 hours. Do not explain where it was. Come back as if nothing happened. See the difference. Wrong. Hi, I was thinking of you all day. How was your day? Are you free tonight? Correct. After 36 hours without contact. I just got out of an interesting situation. Are you free in the next 2 hours? Trigger number 2. Strategic emotional dominance. The second trigger is perhaps the most powerful of all. It is based on what neuropsychologists call emotional state transfer. The female brain has 40% more neurons squeezed than male. This means that women literally mirror the emotional state of men around them in a much more intense way. When you control your own emotional state absolutely, especially under pressure, you automatically become her emotional regulator. And here is the secret. Women become addicted to men who can regulate their emotions. The 3 pillars of emotional dominance. Pillar 1. Absolute imperturbability. No matter what happens, her drama, emotional testing, attempt to cause jealousy, her emotional response remains stable. Practical example. She says, I think we should take a break. Common response. Panic, bargain, argument. Dominant answer. I understand. Do what you think is best. Calm tone, without reactivity. Pillar 2. Frame control. You define the reality of the situation. Does not accept emotional frames she tries to impose. She tries to create drama, you redirect for something positive. It seeks excessive validation, you offer conditioned validation. She tests boundaries, you keep your positions without justifying. Pillar 3. Emotional leadership. You raise her emotional state consistently. She associates being with you to feel better with yourself. Advanced techniques. Technique 1. Emotional reset. When it is in a negative state, you use sudden physical change to reset. Change of environment. Let's get out of here. Unexpected physical contact. Take the hand during tension. Sensory redirect. Look at that. Technique 2. Conditioned validation. Just validate behaviors that you want to see more. Ignore negative behaviors instead of reacting. Reward positive emotional states carefully. Technique 3. The paradox of vulnerability. Share strategic vulnerabilities that increase their value. Keep mystery about vulnerabilities that decrease value. Use the standard, strength calculated vulnerability force. Trigger number 3. Uncertainty dopaminergic. The third trigger is the most addictive of all. It is based on how the brain reward system works, specifically, how uncertainty enhances dopamine release. Stanford Medical School studies show that predictable reward, moderate release of dopamine. Uncertain reward, release 200 to 400% higher of dopamine. This is exactly why gambling is addictive. And that's exactly how you can make your presence addictive to a woman. The 4 types of uncertainty. Type 1. Temporal uncertainty. She never knows exactly when you will appear. Your response times are unpredictable but not rude. You do not follow rigid dating standards. Type 2. Emotional uncertainty. Sometimes you are intensely focused on it. Other times you are clearly focused on your own priorities. She can never decipher you completely. Type 3. Availability uncertainty. You have an interesting life that does not revolve around it. She needs to earn her attention and time. You are not always available when she wants. Type 4. Progression uncertainty. The relationship does not follow the standard social script. She can't categorize where you are. Each interaction has potential for surprises. Practical implementation. Week 1 and 2. establishing unpredictable standards. Vary response times, sometimes immediate, sometimes 4 to 6 hours. Alternate between planned meetings and spontaneous invitations. Mix deep conversations with casual interactions. Week 3 and 4, intensifying uncertainty. Introduce elements of surprise, places, activities, small gifts. Use cliffhangers conversational, I have something interesting to tell you, but not today. Create moments of intense intimacy followed by space. Week 5 onwards, keeping addiction. Continue ranging patterns. Never become predictable. Introduce new elements regularly. Balance proximity and distance based on her response. The message protocol. Wrong. Immediate answer always. Long and detailed messages. Good morning and good night. Questions that require immediate answer. Correct. Variable response standard, 30 minutes to 6 hours. Mix of short and intriguing messages with long and deep occasional. Communication based on something genuinely interesting. Statements that do not need immediate response. Gentlemen, here is something crucial that most ignore. Signs of female obsession never appear isolated. They come in clusters, groups of 3 to 5 simultaneous behaviors. Cluster 1, initial obsession, first 2 to 4 weeks. Primary signs. Response time decreases consistently. It starts conversations often increasing. Mention you to friends, you will know through indirect signals. Subtle changes in appearance when it will see you. Secondary signs. Remember small details you mentioned. Use mirrored body language, copies its gestures. Creates opportunities for physical contact, casual. Question about your availability indirectly. What to do? Keep applying the 3 triggers, but do not accelerate the process. Obsession needs to gradually build. Cluster 2, emotional dependence, weeks 4 to 8. Primary signs. Seeks your opinion in non-reassures. It is visibly different when you are not available. Starts reorganizing agenda to fit you. Demonstrates subtle but still controlled jealousy. Secondary signs. Subtle possessive language, our music, our place. Test limits to see your reactions. Share personal problems seeking your emotional repair. Decreases time with other people gradually. What to do? This is the time to deepen emotional connection, but maintain scarcity and unpredictability. Cluster 3, consolidated obsession, 8 weeks or more. Primary signs. Prioritizes you about important commitments. Demonstrates real anxiety when you are out of the radar. Constantly seeks confirmation of exclusivity indirectly. Your mood depends significantly on interactions with you. Secondary signs. Creates rituals and routines that include you. Talks about future so that always includes you. Demonstrates protective behavior, defends you to others. Search your approval in non-romantic areas of life. How not to destroy what you built. Fatal error 1. Reveal that you were applying techniques. Fatal error 2. Stop keeping your own life interesting. Fatal error 3. Give in to pressure to define the relationship prematurely. Fatal error 4. Stop with unpredictability when it demonstrates obsession. Fatal error 5. Use her obsession with her. Destructive manipulation. Healthy obsession is different from destructive obsession. You want her to be intensely attracted, not emotionally unstable. Signs that you need to calibrate. Self-destructive behavior to get your attention. Extreme social isolation. Pathological anxiety when you do not respond. Loss of own identity. Now let's transform theory as a result. Here is your implementation protocol. Phase 1 days 1 to 30, establishing foundations. Week 1 and 2, audit and preparation. Identify needy behaviors that you need to eliminate. Develop 2 to 3 genuinely interesting activities in your life. Practice emotional control in non-romantic situations. Establish clear limits on its availability. Week 3 and 4. Gradual implementation. Start by applying number 1 trigger, scarcity, subtly. Practice trigger number 2, emotional dominance, in casual interactions. Introduce trigger elements number 3, uncertainty, gradually. Monitor reactions without being obvious. Phase 2 days 31 to 60, intensification. Week 5 and 6, deepening triggers. Intensify scarcity techniques based on her response. Implement emotional dominance in situations of greater pressure. Vary uncertainty patterns more dramatically. Start observing signal clusters. Week 7 and 8, fine calibration. Intensity adjustment based on behavioral feedback. Introduce strategic vulnerability. Test limits in a calculated way. Keep your own life as a priority. Phase 3 days 61 to 90, consolidation. Week 9 and 10, stabilizing patterns. Keep consistency in the 3 triggers. Deepen emotional connection without losing scarcity. Monitor signs of consolidated obsession. Prepare for pressure on relationship definition. Week 11 and 12, long-term. Establish sustainable standards. Balance obsession with emotional health. Prepare strategies to maintain long-term attraction. Implement maintenance system. To implement this system successfully, you need: first, behavioral tracking system standard and response worksheet. Second, men support network, men who understand these dynamics. Third, genuinely interesting activities. Your life cannot revolve around it. Fourth, developed emotional control meditation, exercise, clear purpose. Fifth, continuous education, psychology, evolutionary biology, social dynamics. What you have just learned is just the surface. The complete system includes 47 specific techniques for each situation, recovery protocols when you make mistakes, long-term strategies for lasting relationships, advanced techniques for high-value women, scripts tested for specific situations. Gentlemen, we come to the moment of truth. You have just received knowledge that most men will never have access. Knowledge based on real science, tested on thousands of interactions, refined over more than a decade. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. The choice is yours. Route 1. You close this screen, come back to your normal life, and keep wondering why this special woman doesn't feel for you what you feel for her. You continue to receive crumbs of attention, being just a friend, or entering relationships where you are more invested than her. Route 2. You decide that it is enough. Which is time to stop luck in relationships. Which is time to understand and master the real dynamics of female attraction. I will be brutally honest. 90% of the men who have heard so far will choose Route 1. Why? Because mastering these triggers requires discipline to control your own emotional impulses, patience to apply long-term techniques, courage to risk losing some women in the process, commitment to develop a genuinely interesting life. Most prefer to continue in the comfort zone of romantic mediocrity. But if you are part of the 10% that choose excellence, if you want access to the complete system, the 47 specific techniques, the detailed protocols, the tested scripts, the tracking system, and direct implementation support, there is only one way. Click on the link below now and guarantees your place in the Magnetic Mastery program, the most complete male dominance training in relationships ever created. But beware, I only open new classes 3 times a year, and vacancies are limited. Why? Because this is not knowledge to be spread indiscriminately. It is for serious men about transforming their romantic life. I am so confident that this system works that I offer a guarantee that no relationship guru would dare to do. Apply the system for 90 days. If you do not notice dramatic change in the way women respond to you, I return 100% of your investment and pay 500 reais for your problems. Gentlemen, you have a choice to make in the next 5 minutes. They can remain another ordinary man, confused about female attraction, dependent on luck and circumstances. Or they can join the select group of men who understand and dominate the biological laws of attraction. Men for whom women develop genuine obsession. Men who never need to ask themselves, "Does she like me?" Men who have options. Always. The choice is yours. But choose quickly. Because mediocrity is comfortable, but excellence requires decision.